Just before we get the show started, quick shout out to our sponsors. Let it rip! Business owners hating processing fees? Switch to wholesale payments with 0% processing and transaction fees, only $45 a month. Call Jared Casey at 720-520-0697 Wholesale Payments. Absolute Painting. Absolutely the only painter you need to know. Call 830-832-4382 for your free quote. Absolute Painting. Good people, great work, absolutely. Guys, this is a podcast for you, everyone. I would like to welcome my first inaugural guest, Santos Romero Barrientos, aka also known as Santos the Poet. Is that correct, sir?
Yeah. Santos the poet, cool, that
Santos
works.
the Poet.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, this podcast is completely towards the business mindset, giving entrepreneurs the life skills needed to pursue their dreams or their careers, basically any path or trailblaze, or basically like just get your hands dirty and do something, right?
Absolutely.
So that's completely the premise here. Just to give a little background on myself, I was a medic for about 8 years, from the age of 20 years old on into the medical admin, and that's actually where I met Santos. In the plasma industry on the micro level, but that's in the past. But that's not what we're here to talk about. What we're here to talk about is your journey, Santos, from the medical field to where we are now. So please correct me if I'm ever wrong in any of the items that I bring up. Now, when I met you, you were studying to become a phlebotomist. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Awesome, cool. Which is an art form in itself, man. You have to have confidence when you're messing with people's skin and needles and things like that. Yeah, there's a form of trust there, right? How did you push
But
into
I knew
music?
that music was something that I had always been messing around with since I was like 15. Like writing poetry and rap battling since I was a kid. It's something that I just loved and something that just felt as normal and as much of me as my voice is, as much as me as my character and my personality was. When I step into that lane to do music, it just really feels like an extension of who I truly am that I'm putting forward in a sonically pleasing way. And so I knew, like, okay, I want to do that, but that's insane. You're working from in plasma, and then doing the military, and then it's like, okay, I want to do music, right? But then realizing that music it's a business in a sense, right?
Right.
So what I've been trying to find, like we were talking before the mics got turned on, is that balance between, okay, I need to find a way to make money from this. I need to find a way to fund this thing, but I don't want it to mess with the art,
Yes.
because the most important thing to me, which I feel has made me the most successful with people, is I've always put the human experience first.
Okay.
So like when that mic cuts on and I start doing the freestyle, I'm not trying to talk about like the same stupid shit that everyone else is talking about, or talking about how much money I got, or talking about some female I just slept with, or talking about one time that my ego was flared up and I'm flexing. Like whatever the case is, like that's not the intention behind what I'm doing. My intention is to share my human experience, because as special as we all think we are, which we are in our own little bitty ways, definitely genetically, overall we tend to experience the same things in life, right? I've gotten my heart broken. I've broken a heart. I've gotten cheated on. I've lost everything. I've made big wins. Just that human experience is what I really strive to put forward into the music, and to always share, because that's the deeper connection that I want to have. When I perform, I've done some poetry slams and stuff like that, or I've put on shows in San Marcos and Austin, and it's the coolest thing when I can look at another person in the eyes, and it's not the music that's connecting us. The music is just the bridge. The poetry is just the bridge.
Okay.
But at both ends are these two people, right? And whatever words you want to put on, their consciousness or their spirit or whatever, just their mind, right? And I'm able to have that moment with them where I'm like deeply connected and we're sharing something. I mean, I've had people like just break down crying because they tell me something that just one bar, one sentence in a song that just hit them so heavy. Or the opposite, somebody's eyes just light up and they come to me after the show, and I mean, you would think they were meeting like the biggest fucking star known to mankind, and it's not about me. It's
Right.
about the words. It's about the lyrics. It's about that connection that just got shared, and that to me is the coolest fucking thing in the world.
That's awesome, man. And on that, because I'm a very honest individual, especially when it comes down to art, because I find myself a consumer. Like at the end of the day, I consume art.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I have an ear that my ear knows what's pleasant, and I have a lot of friends that are in the music industry or are aspiring to be, and I give them the most encouragement of the time. But if they ever ask my opinion,
yeah,
on one of their pieces of art,
yeah,
I might give my opinion on what type of piece that may be.
yeah,
From time to time, because they're asking my critique.
yeah.
Right at the end of the day. And honestly, Santos, I've listened to some of your freestyles and some of your lyrics, and honestly, they do resonate with me anyway a lot. And for one, let's see here, one of them was like, I only give a fuck about my money and accomplishments. Don't need your validation or acknowledgments.
Yes.
Okay, that like. I know. Was this part of the freestyle, or was this part of the? This was a part of your interlude.
Yes, so Interlude is actually the last freestyle that I put out before I'm about to put out some official music on iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, so on and so forth. That will be up there with it. But that was a freestyle. Yeah.
Okay. So, what state of mind then were you in or what experience were you experiencing then to put that out there to say exactly those words? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to say that it's surface because it's not.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, but it hooked me in, and you got me on this idea of like, if you don't fuck with me, fuck you.
Yeah.
So where were you at that point?
Wow, dude. I'm going to be very detailed. Trial and tribulation is the theme of where I was at mentally. My relationship was coming to a close, and I was slowly finding things out about the person that I was dating. So that's always rough, right?
Yeah.
And so that's happening. My job is going terrible. Absolutely awful. Me and my boss are just back and forth pretty much all day, every day.
And where were you working at?
I don't want to get in trouble, but I was working for another place doing phlebotomy.
Okay.
So that was going on. It wasn't my supervisors. Me and my supervisors were really dope. We had a great connection, but like the upper, right? Because I always speak my mind. That's just how I am.
Yeah.
My car, I was sitting in my car, and that's where I was recording that freestyle with my visors up because it helps with the sound, and it blocks out the view from anyone coming and looking in. And I put a towel on the left side, the right side, the back window, the other back window, and a tarp on the back. So I'm completely locked into my car.
Yeah.
And the only way I can see any light is having the lights on. And it's just me and the microphone. And I'm saying exactly what I feel, exactly what I think, with zero filter. And I mean that, even to this day. And the reason I called it the interlude was because I genuinely felt at that time that I cut the mic on, that what you're listening to, when you go back and listen to it, and thank you so much for quoting that. That was the coolest shit ever. This is already a great interview, dude. You're amazing at this. It was that. It was my money and my accomplishments, because I had realized that sometimes in life, I'll speak for myself, especially when we love and care about others, sometimes we can unintentionally be people pleasers.
Yes.
And why we mean well, and why the intention means well, we can get lost in that people pleasing. And you get to the end of that people pleasing, and you realize that there's never any pleasing people, especially when you're trying to please people's feelings, because people's feelings are changing.
God bless.
24/7. They're always changing. So you might please that feeling, but by the time you please that feeling, they're on to the next feeling, right? And this isn't just with that relationship that I was in at the time. It was for that boss. It was for just people on an everyday basis. I was trying to start sponsoring some athletes with Con Growth. You know, that's the athletic brand that I started. And it's like, okay, we sponsored you. Hey, can you sponsor me again? Can you sponsor me some more? And it was a lot of output, and I wasn't getting a lot back. So, and the output came from a good place, but, and I know this might be controversial, but reciprocation is a must for me. If I need that ebb and flow of give and receive, give and receive, give and receive. And it was a whole lot of giving. And for me, it was messing with my self-worth. If I'm being 100% honest.
Yes.
Like, man, I'm doing all this stuff. Once again, I'm being honest, doing all this stuff to please people because I love people. It's coming from a good place, but it's somewhere in between where it's starting and where it's ending. This is getting all fucked up.
Yes.
What is it?
Yeah.
You know, it's getting like, what is going on between here to there? And in that freestyle, I had pretty much come to the point where I'm like, you know what? it's about time I focus on me. It's about time because either you fuck with me or you don't.
Right.
I had come to the point of I want to please myself and become the best version of myself. And whoever fucks with the best version of myself, that's truly my person. Those are my people. That's my tribe. That's my fan base. Those are my friends. That's my family. But first I have to be 100% me, and 100% me is focusing on my money and my accomplishments and my goals. That's me. That's 100% me. That's who I am at my core. And some people are not going to like that, and that's fine. And it's not so much like, oh, fuck you then. It's just like, okay, we're not on the same thing, and that's fine. I wish you the best on your journey, and I hope that you find your people that love you and accept you and desire you and need you for who you truly are. But right now, I'm mastering who I am down to my core, and it is what it is. You either fuck with it or you don't, and it's that simple.
So then talking to the guys that are to the people that I gotta watch my wording sometimes. I'm so used to being casual and like treating everyone like on a plain level. So speaking to the people that like are putting the time to that, let's call it the 9 to 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
The 9 to 5, and they're pleasing their supervisor. They're meeting, they're ticking all the boxes, but they're not getting that raise.
Mm-hmm.
They're not getting that promotion. They're not getting that leadership or that mentorship that they're asking for. What do you say to that person? Because it seems that when you're not getting what you want, you speak up.
Mm.
So how do you navigate that portion of it?
Well, let me ask a question to your question real quick. What, in a general sense, is this said person, what are they striving for? You know, is it just like move up the ladder at that place, or is it kind of like you're asking on a human level?
I guess I'm asking more on a human level base because maybe this person's at their wits' end. You know, they took this job because it was gonna solve X, Y, and Z, but then it caused A, B, and C. And now we have A, B, and C to deal with X, Y, and Z. So was it really worth to put this much stress or anxiety or bend over backwards for something that may not be your best fit?
Yeah.
But it's the best for right now.
Yeah.
And then you're stuck in the right now forever.
Mm.
And so how do you how do you pull people out from that routine? How do you pull people out of routine?
Yeah. Well, I guess just on a human level, I would have to say what I was just previously talking about is your cup being filled? How genuinely you stopping and asking yourself, like, okay, I'm giving to this, I'm giving my time to that, I'm giving my energy to this person, to this place. What the fuck am I giving myself? You know? And I think psychologically, we all have a decent, right, a healthy individual of self-preservation, right? At minimum, you want to preserve yourself, and if you don't, seek help, right? And you know, but like just your average person that's whether you're striving for more in the company or more in life or more in your relationship, that's something you really, I believe, you have to ask yourself: what am I getting in return? And it's not about, there's nothing wrong with asking for something in return. I think there's a lot of things in life, to include business and relationships, where it's become almost like you're a terrible person or you're a villain if you have standards, boundaries, and requirements. But the issue is that a lot of people want a lot of benefit with no effort. And when you're a giver, when you're someone who's dedicated, and maybe just naturally, you're somebody who just loves to give and give and give and give. There's a lot of people out there in the world with huge hearts, and they love to give. You know, I feel like I'm sitting in front of one of them. But you know, but if you're never getting anything back, it's like anything else. You know that saying that a lot of people use now, your cup, right? You're just pouring, 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 pouring. Eventually you run out of water, but people who don't know how to start saying, I need something back from the world and from the people around me, or even from themselves, I mean, eventually, okay, well, I guess I'm going to start shattering myself. I guess I'm going to start breaking myself and start selling these pieces. And eventually there will be nothing left, and you would have destroyed yourself. And if you really think about it, if you feel like your heart and your purpose is to give, once again, whether it be in a company or in your dreams or your relationship, if you're never replenishing yourself, you're not going to have anything to give.
Right.
And I say that from experience. I say that from 110% experience. I have given and given and given until I had absolutely nothing left. And that freestyle, at that moment, you were hearing the epiphany, the moment where I realized I have nothing left. And I'm starting from ground zero, and this is how I'm going to start. I'm going to start at the bottom like a motherfucking warrior, beating my chest and saying, I don't give a fuck about anything that has nothing to do with taking care of myself. And anyone who truly loves me realizes, oh, this dude who he naturally is, he is a giver. He's going to love. He's going to protect. He's going to provide. He's going to show up, and he's going to execute. That's a given. We already know this about this guy.
Right.
But people who love me have been dying and waiting to see me finally give to myself. And when I started doing that, I realized who didn't love me, or who didn't care, or what places didn't. And my job didn't. My relationship at that time didn't. Certain friends didn't. But what I'm left with right now is realizing who does. Who also wants to see me win. Because I want to see me win.
Absolutely. I want to see you win.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So you like, so it doesn't matter if it's like you're.
Get that phone call, yo, I just got nominated for a Grammy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, thank you very much. Like, you know, but also it's like, so it's, to me, it's all about putting yourself in an environment. I say all that to say this. It's just putting yourself in the environment, whether it be a people, a workplace, that you are receiving back. Because the only way you're going to grow is if you are working and replenishing. Working and replenishing. So it doesn't matter if it's a friendship, a relationship. If you're not putting work in and getting replenished, you got to go. You got to get the hell out of there.
Understood that. So on that same emotion, like, it's because it's difficult for someone that's in that routine and has given their all, and now it's almost like forgotten how to fish from anything else. Because I was in that job for, like, let's say 7 years, and I knew nothing else. And I'll be honest, the only reason why I was in that job because I got in trouble. I got in trouble with the law. Y'all can go look me up.
We all been there, bro. I've been there too, twice. Like,
and I thought that was the end of it. I thought I wasn't able to get a job anywhere else. Let them run my background and forget it. Like, Spanish name with a background check, that's it.
Yeah.
And so I just accepted the routine and was just like, I'm just going to keep my head down and try my best to not cause any waves. And that was in itself detrimental, because in finding out, if you have enough money to pay the lawyer, no one cares.
Yeah. True.
Which is a terrible thing to say, but it's the honest truth. And so I paid my dues. To the community and to the state. And so now I feel like I have a new breath and take on life, because now I see my peers like yourself, Leon Calderon, people really pushing for their dreams, and it's motivating. It's motivating at the end of the day, because it's like I was elbow with these people, and there's no reason why I should not be doing the same thing.
Hell yeah.
So thank you for that inspiration. One.
I appreciate it.
And on that note, so what do we tell the guy who's like, do I quit my job to go pursue music, or to go pursue to be an artist, or go get that internship that's only going to be $8? I mean, you said it yourself. You lived in your car. We're coming from an undisclosed location, thanks to Absolute Painting. If it wasn't for them, then none of this would be possible. The microphones, the four walls that were these. If it looks like my studio was put together by a thrift store, it's because it was. You know what I mean? Like,
it's dope though. It's dope.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The chair I'm sitting in was my grandmother's chair, and it's the whole reason why we've named it after her. So, going against the grain, You know, all my life, every family member was like, "You're a lawyer. You're a doctor. You're a lawyer. You're a doctor. You're some kind of profession that's, I don't want to say a guarantee of a comfortable lifestyle, but that was drilled." And now that I'm on this side of an entertainer or of an artist, I can feel the concern from everyone else. And so it makes me feel like, am I doing the right thing?
Yeah,
I have moments of successes, but they're nowhere near as what I want them to be at this point in time.
Yeah.
Obviously, but that's the goal, right? That's what we're. That's where we're putting our values and our time and efforts in, and what we're giving, as you were saying, our energies to, whether it be the people, the businesses, or what really is gonna move you towards your goal is, I guess, is what we really gotta identify as entrepreneurs like ourselves, is what's our goal.
Absolutely.
Like, what are we trying to accomplish at the end of the day? Like for me personally, that's I want to provide that experience. Like I can't speak for you on that moment, but for me personally, it's just like I want to provide that escape.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
I think on that note, for me, my music, to be precise, is I want to provide the fuel for people's discipline. I want to be that song. Like if I died right now, I got in a car accident and I died. That freestyle would be there.
Right.
It's already being uploaded. It has to go through a process and everything, through TuneCore and everything. That you could go back and you could listen to that, just that beginning, right?
Right.
Care about my accomplishments, my goals. I don't need your validation, this, that, and the third. That song's gonna be there when this body is long gone. So I strive to be my voice, like beyond my shell, right? Beyond my physicality. Like who I am is my soul, my spirit, my consciousness, my being is being put into that microphone. And even this exchange that we're having right now, someone could listen to it, right?
Right.
And be that sound and that spark for people to get the fuck to it every day, no matter what. Behind the whole process of con growth, win or lose, the answer is growth. So I don't care if you're winning, you got to keep growing, because if not, you're gonna become complacent and you're gonna start losing. If you're losing, well, giving up and crying about it for too long and being worried and anxious, what is that gonna do you? It's not gonna do you any good. You're only gonna end up in a worse place. So the answer at all times is to grow, and I always want to be that. I want my music and my poetry to be that spark, that reminder, because it's easy to fall. It's easy to get into euphoria, right? And to be like, oh, I'm good. Nothing could go bad. This is so great. This is, oh, man, I'm chilling, dog. I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy, especially nowadays. Even just with social media. If you really watch people scrolling through social media, they get so hypnotized and locked in. They're almost in a state of euphoria. They don't realize that there's like the world is at war. They don't realize that there's like inflation. They don't realize that there's like all these crazy things going on in the world, because they're so locked into this world, this other little thing going on, which really comes down to their thoughts in their head, right? And they get it and they get stuck. I don't know anybody who gets stuck scrolling on social media that's successful, right? They get stuck in that euphoria. And there's other people who get stuck in their depression, or they get stuck in their anxiety, or they get stuck in, their woes and everything. And they're also not growing, right? So I want my music to be that thing, whether you purposely hear it or somebody drives by banging my shit and you hear 2 lines and it's like, oh shit, I need to get to it. That's the purpose of my music.
Dig it. On that, because I have another one that's underneath hate. Man, I gotta play that song again, because when the first time I heard it, it jazzed me. It jazzed me up. I was like, damn, I gotta hit the gym. Like, I gotta go work out. Yeah. I gotta make sure like I'm taking care of my own, because it made me kind of like, it gave me the sense of like someone's coming from my title, even though I haven't had it yet.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
So
Yes.
that's where I'm at with that. So in that euphoria flow. So when I first started out as a comedian, I was bombing. I'm a professional bomber. I don't even call myself a comedian yet, man. Like, to be honest with you, like, I'm an open micer at the end of the day. Like, I'll call you when I'm a comedian. Because I'm not, man. But there was this one night where it kind of like, it clicked a little bit. and there was like 30 people in the bar, and like I was like, okay, like fuck it, this is it.
Yeah.
Like if I can't make these 30 people laugh like on what I've been working on and connect, like what else am I gonna do? So it went well. I went outside and I threw up like 4 times. You can ask every comedian on the scene, any comic, any open micer on the scene. It's just my thing. I either throw up right beforehand or right after. It's I forget, like it's just like that.
Yeah.
So, that night specifically, the serotonin or the oxytocin got to me. Okay, and then I went to the club.
Okay.
To keep the oxytocin going.
You were rolling. You were rolling.
Rolling.
You're like, let's keep the good times going.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
And then $300 later, I regretted my decisions during my euphoric state.
Yeah.
So it's like in those moments of euphoria during your successes, it's like you have to be the most conscious of what your anxieties are, because they could be even detrimental to your goals.
Set you back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You reap what you sow at the end of the day. But there are those that may take that hit and accept defeat, you know? But I guess what I'm speaking more towards on is how do you ever stop to smell the roses and kind of like feel the success for a little bit, or you just go right back to working?
I was actually just talking about this with a friend. Man, I'm actually really bad at stopping and smelling the roses. I'm really bad at that. I'm trying to get better at it, but I can't help but step out and ask myself why I'm bad at it and why I genuinely don't have a desire to do it, and why I'm even fighting the desire to stop and smell the roses, right? Because some people don't know how to get up off their ass and get to work, like ever. You know, like they they're just lazy as shit. Like, you know, there's a lot of lazy people, you know,
Ever.
like you know. And so I think if I'm gonna have any problem, I'd rather have the issue of, hey dog, have you ate today? Did you sleep? Did you drink water? Like you know what I'm saying? Like I would rather have that problem, because you're never gonna have a life without problems. You're never gonna have a life with no hard decisions. It doesn't matter. There's gonna be pros and cons to everything. And so when I think about things that I'm gonna struggle with, I'd rather struggle with learning how to stop than learning how to start. Like that's just me, man.
I'm laughing because I agree with you so much. I've turned my bedroom into a podcast studio.
No, I feel you. That's amazing. No, I mean they say like minds, right? Like, but remind me of the question again, real quick, because I've forgotten.
Like, how do you? You answered it. You can't stop to smell the roses. I struggle with the same thing, but because there's times when you've probably performed and your friend and peers or people that want to see you succeed are like, you killed it. You have the crowd in the palm of your hand. They were saying your songs or they were saying your hook. Same thing with me. When they're like, yo, you killed it, I'm already in my head like, oh, I could have did this better.
Yes.
I could have did this better.
Yeah.
Like, why did I stumble here? Or I could have stretched this out right here.
Yes.
I can't ever enjoy it. Like, even when I'm relaxing or like...
That's so hard.
It's so hard because I feel like I'm being lazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to schedule time to watch Dahmer. We'll just say Dahmer right now because it's not popular, because I still have to be kind of up with pop culture and kind of know things that's happening.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not watching to enjoy. I'm watching to write.
Yeah.
My opinion on it, or maybe like, what's the human experience of watching someone else eat somebody? That's gross. and this man, never mind. I'm not gonna do any jokes. This is a serious podcast. But to that point, I can't do that either. I can't play video games like and not be like, okay,
what am I doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
I spent an hour and a half in this, and this is completely just for me. Like, okay, I was entertained.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Put it down. Go do something else.
I think about it in the analogy of like driving, right? Like we're driven, clearly, right? Like that's the word. And I guess in the analogy is like when you're driving, you're looking forward and your foot's on the gas, I know some people do this, but I'm not like trying to drive and day trade at the same time. I'm not driving trying to get dressed and shower at the same time. And I think that's just where I'm at in life. I think that's where I'm at in life. I'm at a point in life where I'm driving, and if I see something scenic and I see something beautiful, I'm gonna acknowledge it and be like, "Wow, that's nice." I might come back and revisit that, but right now I'm going in this direction. Um, yeah, that's just where I'm at. And as far as euphoria, I don't really reach a state of that because I know I could always do better. I know I could always be better. Um, I have gotten better at taking the compliments and things of that. Like I think you have to, right? Because if not,
It's so hard.
it is. It is.
So why? Gross. Why are you complimenting me?
Yeah, but I think what I've learned to consider is where that compliment's coming from. And it's like you said, like what's like with my purpose, right? My purpose with music is to motivate others to be disciplined, you know, and to get to it. And you said that you wanted your comedy to be like an escape from all the shit or making the shit super funny, like just getting away from it. And remembering that there's something worth laughing about in life, So when people compliment us, I think that it's our duty to sit back and resonate that for a second and be like, I accomplished my goal here. For me, with the music, someone comes to me and they're inspired, or they just had a whole epiphany moment coming to terms with something hard they went through, or realizing that they've been partying too much and chasing women too much, and they need to get back on it because somebody is always coming for your spot 24/7. Someone's coming for your money, someone's coming for your accolades, somebody's coming for your position, someone's coming for your girl. Somebody's always coming, and you need to be moving in the direction of becoming a better version of you, or you can get stomped out. I know that people want to pretend like it's not a competitive world, but it's a competitive world, and it's not to compete with others, but to compete with yourself. That's how I see it. Like I was good yesterday. How can I be great today? How can I be legendary tomorrow? How can I be untouchable the next day? How can I be? And really for me, some people might see that as like a hustle culture. I see that as self-love, because the more that I love myself, the more I'm pouring into myself. The more I love myself, the more disciplined I am. The more I love myself, the more I'm able to talk myself up. The more I love myself, the more I give to myself. Like it comes from a place of self-love. It's not. I know some people, it can be a little anxiety driven. It can be I never feel like enough, or I don't feel like I'm worth anything, or I'll never feel like I'm good enough until I reach this point, this destination, you know. But really, with this music and even this podcast and everything, it's a place. It's a place for me to highlight what it looks like to love yourself from a healthy place. I'm doing this podcast because I believe in myself. I'm doing this podcast because I believe that I have something worth to say. I'm doing this podcast outside of the reasons I'm doing it for you, right? But speaking on self, because I'm doing it because 2 years from now, when I've accomplished some amazing shit that is going to happen without a doubt, and to be specific, it's going to be like, I don't know, featuring with Kendrick or Cole and doing an amazing body of work writing for Drake, like something crazy like that. Like, I can look back at this moment right here and be like, man, look at me. I loved myself. I loved myself at that point of life. I loved myself enough to believe in myself. I loved myself enough to dare to say that on a microphone where people are going to watch it. They're going to be like, "Pfft, this guy, this guy, like, bro, chill out. You're nobody yet. No, I am. I am. And that's a heavy statement. I am.
That is a heavy statement.
I am. From the moment that I was birthed to this moment right here to when I'm accomplishing things.
Do you feel your confidence can rub people the wrong way?
I think that it can. I think that confidence can definitely rub people the wrong way, but it's usually out of uncomfortability.
Like their insecurity?
Sometimes it could be insecurity, I've learned, or it could be like their own self worth issues, or sometimes people haven't seen a healthy version. They haven't seen it. They haven't experienced healthy confidence. They've experienced the toxic side of it, right? Of being braggadocious and egotistical and narcissistic and all these other things. So self confidence gets a bad rap because a lot of people put on a front and say, "Oh, I'm confident," when really they're just fucking assholes. Like they're douchebags. Like, and So it can get a bad rap, right? It can get a bad rap. Same way that also what I'm exuding right now is strength. The strength that it doesn't matter what I've been through, what I've gone through. No, I still believe in me. I believe in me now more than I've ever believed in myself in my entire life. Even though I've gone through more shit now than I ever went through before. But there's the key word, like I went through it. I look back at all the hard shit that I've been through, and I'm like, damn, bro, I gotta take a moment and be like, you've been through it. You went through that. You didn't stop there. You didn't die there. You didn't get stuck there. You don't go back there. You're a hard motherfucker. Let's see how much harder you can get. You know? And that's still out of self love. I want to get as far away from that shit as I can because that didn't feel good. That wasn't a good experience. I'm done with the negative experiences. I want the positive experience. I know what it's like to work through the losses and the heartache and the pain and the mental breakdowns and the identity crises and the self imposter syndrome and all the other stuff. I've worked through all that. I want to know what it's like to work through success now. I want to know what it's like to hit that euphoric stage where I'm like, shit, I got bread, I got money, my day trades are going good, investing's going good. So and so's on my phone and they're ringing me up to write something or perform something for them or do a show with them. I want to know what it's like to have to work through that. I've already seen the other side of the spectrum. I'm a good fan. I want to see what's on the other side. You know?
So you've accepted the long haul already. You've accepted that this is gonna be difficult.
Yeah.
That this is gonna be because not many take. I mean, many do, but many fall. Right? Because like this. Some might call this a pipe dream. You know, I've heard that. Some have laughed at me. Some have called me. Some of my own peers now have laughed at me in my ambitions.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like in that sense you have to stay steadfast in your own ideas and your own morals to say no, you're completely wrong and this is what I'm doing.
Can I share something before I forget?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck those people first. Like because this is the most unrealistic thing to me to think that you're gonna get through life, that you can choose any path, and you're gonna get through it without any difficulties, without any struggles, without any moments of this is so fucked, without any moments of I want to die, like of feeling suicidal or feeling homicidal. Because I'm telling you, like when you sit down and you talk to the doctors and the lawyers, my sister is a doctor in San Antonio. She's going through some hard shit right now. I'm not gonna put her business out there, and she's been through some hard shit. She's been through depression. She's been on the pills. She's gone through these moments of like I want to fucking give up. You know what I'm saying? I have a friend who has her own business and is successful, but now things are changing, and she's all fucking all over the place. You know, I knew guys that made it. I got buddies that are rangers in the military, right? They reached a goal, and they're going through. There's no way out of life without experiencing the hard shit. Life is gonna be hard no matter what road you choose, and it's just choose your fucking hard. What hard can you learn to love? What hard can you learn to take in and just you know what I could work at this shit every motherfucking day. I don't never get tired of this shit. And to me, that's a life worth living. That's a life worth living. Yeah, I could totally go get a job doing some other shit right now, and but I'm not gonna love it. I'm not gonna love it the way I'm loving this interaction right now. I'm not gonna love it the way I love sitting there and freestyling and just snapping at the drop of a hat, or sitting there and writing and critiquing every little bitty syllable and rhyming inside it out and finding schemes and punchlines. And I'm not gonna love it like that. I'm not gonna love it the way that I've loved to create passive income with my investments and day trading. Like I love that shit. Everything I just mentioned, I love it. Right? You know? And there are gonna be hard times in all of that. I might make a trade and I'll lose everything. I might invest into the wrong thing and get 80% of my portfolio crushed. I might put a song out and it's gonna be fucking shit, which highly unlikely, but whatever. Like, you know, like you know, like, do you know, like, and some of them just might not fuck with it, right? You know, everything, but I'm still gonna love it, and that's what I've learned through all the ups and downs is I'm gonna love this shit no matter what. So I might as well commit to it, and I think everybody's so concerned about finding their soulmate in life. All I know, fuck, I talk to the most random people in the world, like people in relationships and outside of relationships, like, and we're all trying to find that person or that thing. outside of us that is supposed to be our purpose, right? But like our purpose is it's inside. Like your purpose, your meaning is inside. And the things that we find on the outside are the extensions of that purpose that we can attach it onto, and we can make it malleable and we can work with it, right? I could take my motivation and my discipline and my confidence and be a life coach. Like I could do that, right? But I don't love that. I don't love that shit. I love this music. I love communicating with people. I love day trading. I love investing. I love performing. I love that shit. Life's gonna be hard no matter what. So to the people that look at individuals and that are taking this quote unquote route, everything's a route, and people saying, "Oh, well, I just want you to, do something a little bit more realistic," and it's like everything is realized when you really think about it. Everything has already been realized. Being a comedian is a realized job. Like like being an artist is a realized job, right? And the same way there's steps and handbooks to everything else, there's steps and handbooks and processes and disciplines and structure to anything in this lifetime. And I think that's all it is. Finding the rules, finding the boundaries, the strategies, the tactic, applying those things, and everything in life has already been realized. It's just more of you realizing
Okay.
it.
So then on that, so once you've had that self realization, right? Um, was it easier to tell people no, I don't want to be a part of this, or no, I don't want to divulge my time to this activity? Was it no? Was the word no hard to say before you had that self realization?
Yes, before it was super hard. Um, I'm gonna relate it a little bit to some stuff that I learned in the military, but something anybody can really relate to. If you don't know what the hell you're aiming at, you're not gonna know how to calibrate. You're not gonna know how to hold yourself, when to breathe. You're not gonna know when to pull the trigger. You're not gonna know how to position yourself. You're not gonna know, and relating that to like day trading, what has the highest probability of playing out. So it's hard to say yes or no when you lack clarity, and I think that's like half of life's game is getting clear on what it is exactly that you want and exactly it is that you desire and that you must have. It's not like I'd like this thing, I want this thing. It's a I must. Because on a human level, when you look at the most ridiculous things that have ever been created, the fiat currency, that's insane. When you really think about it, like it's literally backed by nothing, but everyone like respects it like God. You know, um, the pyramids, the person who created the vehicle, like all these different things. Like somebody had to say, I have to, and I must. And I think when you reach that point of I must, and you're clear on what it is that you need to do before your ass dies, it's real easy to say no. I don't fuck with these people. This they don't feel what it is that I'm trying to do. No, I don't go to this place because it has nothing to do with who I'm trying to become and what I'm trying to do. I don't talk to this kind of individual because they take from me. They take time, I take energy, and all my time and energy needs to be going to this thing. Because that's the only way you ever accomplish is by focusing, and remaining disciplined, and having an idea, executing on it, and staying at it night and day.
So what Santos is saying, everyone, is that once you get that self realization, call in. Don't go to work. Go chase your dream.
Well, you said something on that note earlier. I actually have another person I think you'd really love interviewing. Her name is Kate. She's got here from Mexico. Before that, she was in Thailand. And she's worked for herself all throughout her 20s. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty damn sure she's either a silent millionaire or really close to it. I think her whole mindset is incredible. So I definitely want to bring her to you. But on that note, I think what makes some people not believe in what it is that we're doing. A lot of people tell me I'm insane. Like, what do you want to do? What? Like that's dumb. I think people get concerned. They get concerned from a sense of lack, and they think that, oh my God, he's gonna end up homeless. He's gonna end up unsuccessful. How's he gonna have a family? How's he gonna have these things? How's he gonna provide? How's he ever gonna be successful in life? Oh, he could be wasting his time. Like, first off, time is we don't know when that's gonna end. Just first off, like, you know, and if somebody was thinking about pursuing their dream, whether it be comedian, artist, boxer, professional racer, whatever the case is, if I had to give like a little blueprint of kind of like how I've done things, is is work that job that you hate, work it, find a way to love it as much as you can, and for a maximum of a year, say, and because you're clear on where you want to go, save a year's worth of income and find something else that you can do that brings in a little bit of income to at least pay your bills, or find investments that have a passive income or a dividend, something of that nature, something that can do things in the background, or just have that year's worth of income. Pay off as much debt as you possibly can so that you have no bills, but a year's worth of bills if you were to acquire bills.
Right.
And then there's no problem. You can just focus on what it is that you're doing. And when you let your traditional 9 to 5 employee, person or family member or whatever the case is, know, like, oh, I'm straight. I got 40K sitting aside if I ever need it, 50K or 10K, whatever the for your bills, right? And my car's paid off, and the only bills that I have is just rent and eating, and that's it. I feel like when you let people know that, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, do whatever the fuck you want, But people project their fear, you know. There might be someone listening to this or listens to the future and is like, whoa, shit, I don't want to do all that. Then I mean, that's an option. That's an option, but it is going to be harder, and you're going to be facing a lot more anxiety and pressure, within yourself and other people. I'm not going to say it's impossible because nothing's impossible, um, but there's always, I guess, a more strategic and safer way to go about it. Um, but shit, if you listen to this and you're like, you know what, fuck Karen, like I gotta get out. I gotta get out of there ASAP. Go for the journey, especially if you're young. If someone's young and 18, 20, 25, fuck it, 30 years old, like you got enough time to fuck up. You got enough time to fuck up and figure out, like, sheesh, is this what I want to do? Like, is this what I want to do? Do I need to go back to the drawing board? Like, you got time. It might be uncomfortable, but what is being comfortable really, and how long does it ever really last? Because right, as soon as you get comfortable, things tend to go to shit. Like, so you might as well be responsibly uncomfortable in life. Yeah. That's my opinion though.
That's exactly why I brought you on, man, because I feel like you have that sense of fearlessness that maybe others may not understand. Because personally, I can't speak for you, but personally, like, my fear was the what if, like, what if I never, like, the with the stuff in the basement, like, what if there's this shit in the basement that I have that I never presented to anybody, and I'm never gonna know the outcome of that. So that was my initial driver, and then there was things that kind of snowballed me into the direction where I am now. But I guess speaking on that blueprint is, first, have that realization with yourself on what you want to accomplish as an individual or in your time here on this plane or earth, or what have you. That's it, point blank. So
I wanted to. Do we have time for me to say? Yeah. You said something about me being fearless. I just wanted to uh, navigate that in the right direction. I'm scared. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm terrified. I have the same. I have the same fears and insecurities that most people have. Like, I'm definitely right. Like,
so you're throwing up too, like, just like me then.
yeah, I mean, I've thrown up. And what I've learned with fear, I've had a really interesting and intimate and deep connection with fear. And I think that you can either let fear keep you from things, or you can allow fear to attract you to things. And for me, I was terrified of joining the military, so that's why I did it. I was terrified of jumping out of a plane, so I did it. I was terrified to start telling people, yes, I'm an independent artist and a day trader and investor. Because all three of those things I taught myself. I was terrified of falling flat on my face, putting money into the market or day trades, and it going to shit. I was terrified of starting to post freestyling, even though I was doing that shit every single day in my car by myself, and no one, I wasn't never recording it. you know, I was terrified of putting it out there and people being like, "Oh my god, bro, don't ever," you know, like and so something that you know you've given some good advice when even people who don't like you say it was good advice, and I won't say that my ex doesn't like me, but she's not fond of me. Like you know what I'm saying? Like who is right? Like it's that you know what I'm saying? Like there's love there, but she's not fond. You know that's all right. You know, um, but I remember we had a discussion recently, probably in the last 3 or 4 weeks, that went to shit. By the way, that conversation went to shit. But even in the midst of that, she shared something, and she said one of the moment that she fell in love with me was when I said, "I'm gonna make you face all of your fears." And when I told her that you can either let fear push you away, or you can let it be your compass, because on the other side of fear is freedom. Every single time, on the opposite side of fear is freedom, because the fear is in here. Like the actually, like you cannot grab fear. And when people say you can create it, but it's still here, it's all in your head. It's all in your head. You know, like danger is real. That's a thing. Like, you know, jumping out of a plane is definitely dangerous. But my fear was that my parachute wasn't going to open, which ended up happening at some point. But like, that's because the military parachutes are shit. But like, even then, I'm here. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And now I have a freedom. I'm not scared to jump out of shit or off of shit anymore because I'm like, "Pfft, I already, I already did this. Like, who cares? You know? And same thing with music. You know, it went from being nervous about freestyling on just posting on Instagram to turning into now I'll do that shit at random in the middle of the street. I was at a club with my best friend and her boyfriend. Shout out Jaya and Jonas, and she's also an artist. I think you would love to interview. I got so many people I could bring to you, bro. But and we were at a club just like smoking hookah and shit and chilling, and that beat came on for one of Megan Thee Stallion's new songs. I don't even know what it is, but that beat's hard as shit. And I started just freestyling my ass off loud enough to people at the bar could hear me. And in that video, when you go look at it, you can hear people all the way at the bar like, hey! People were like, oh, like freaking out, you know? And I was a little nervous to just start being the random guy freestyling loud as shit in the middle of a club. But I was like,
That guy.
be that guy. But if I'm gonna be that guy,
That battle dancer guy.
yeah. But if you're gonna be that guy, you might as well be like, be it. Fuck it. Be it. You know what I'm saying? Go all in. Go hard. Because when you think about embarrassing, yeah.
Where were you on the score when this happened?
No, we were actually in Austin. We were at Crew. We were at Crew. There's actually a funny story behind that. I'll be brief, but like a guy walked in and he was mugging. I don't care if he hears this, but he was mugging at my friend and her boyfriend, and I couldn't figure out like why is he looking at them so ugly. And he had a bottle of Douce, so I guess he thought he was like the shit, whatever. And so yeah, ooh, good for you, right? And so he walks by. I noticed that his girl like kept looking at me, but he kept looking ugly at my friends, and I too, like everyone else in this world, can be super petty. So I was like, you know what, bro, I'm gonna get your girl's attention. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Like, you know, I'm gonna get her creamy in the panties all the way from over there at the bar, and I'm gonna make you really upset. So that was one of the driving factors behind the freestyle, because I was like, bro, I'm about to kick the nastiest freestyle of all time and just make this woman just need a mop for the floor. I'm gonna look at her the entire time because why did you walk in and as soon as you see us just look at us ugly? Well, it turns out homeboy used to like abuse a girl that worked there, and like I said, I don't care if he hears this, but he's the owner. He's the owner of that club. So, anyways, I posted it on Instagram and I tagged him in it, and I tagged the Crew place. I tagged him in it like you know, like you were looking like that's what you get. Like play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And you can hear his girl. You can hear his girl like screaming and eking for me in the back, like like freaking out because I'm like staring at her, just freestyling, just going in, you know, just super confident and shit. Shout out to her, by the way, if she watches this. But it was funny because I tagged it and they didn't realize what they were sharing, and they shared it on their story and on their page. And then I guess the guy realized who I was and who was kicking the freestyle, so he promoted me too. So that's what you get. That's what you get. So and like I said, play stupid games, you play get some prizes.
Just keep me in your mouth. That's all I say.
It's free promotion, So, but yeah, that was just a funny story. I had no idea who he was or what importance he had or why he was looking like that. I was just like, this guy's being a dick to my friends, and so I'm gonna be a dick back, but I'm gonna be petty about it. I'm gonna be smooth about it, because fist fight gets you in trouble. So I was like, oh, whatever, bro. I'm just gonna embarrass you from over there. I'm gonna get you where it hurts.
So I think that's a common denominator amongst entrepreneurs that have that feeling of like, fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is me, and I have there's nothing else. Like you said it right now, when you're out in the public, and you're like that guy freestyling. Like, if you're gonna do it, own it. Like, be in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like my brother. Sorry for putting your business out there, bro, but he doesn't have the greatest accolades when it comes to academia, right? If anything, he's missing a few.
Yeah.
But this man makes almost six figures every year.
Love that.
Because he taught himself how to do concrete, he taught himself how to weld, he taught himself how to do carpentry, he taught himself how to do plumbing. So now he is a 26-year-old full out foreman because he decided to skip 2 years.
Yes, that's how it goes, bro. Something I've learned about business. It really comes down to how much value you're providing. It had nothing to do with your grades at school or where you went to school or what you went to school for. It's all about value. How much value do you provide? People will pay you for your value, if you're involving yourself with the right people in the right place at the right time. Like, but yeah, that's amazing. I love that. I love hearing shit like that, because, I've self-taught myself everything with investing and day trading. And same thing. My entire mind has shifted with what the hell money is when I can click a button and I did a little bit of work, a little bit of research, a little bit of study, and then boom, $1,500 in 35 seconds, opposed to working at a job for 2 weeks. Don't get me wrong, it can go the other way too. But there's
Most definitely, I've day traded before.
Stop losses, like but learn that one.
Yeah, don't over leverage.
Yeah.
One trade at a time. If you don't know how to multitask.
Yes, exactly. No, you get it. But that changes how you look at things, right? Yeah. It's not ironic how we come into this world, and as soon as you're here, there's just labels thrown on you. As soon as you're born. And I don't know if this has anything to do with what we had to talk about, but I just think that's something to really anyone who listens to this to really ask yourself, who am I? Like, truly sit down with yourself at some point in your life and ask yourself, who am I and what do I do? Because from the moment that you come into this world, they give you a name, they give you a race, an ethnicity, they tell you where you live, what that means about where you live, your parents, what that says about you. The world just starts telling you, telling you, telling you, and telling you. And at some point in your life, I think it's really important to say, fuck off, and start listening to yourself and ask yourself, who am I? And you should be able to answer it like you're going to pitch it in an elevator. For me, my name is Santos Romero Barrientos. I'm an independent artist and a businessman, and I make music that motivates and disciplines. And I am the most highly driven motherfucker on the face of earth. Boom, done. That's who I am. That's what I do. And someone asks me what my purpose is. My purpose is to motivate people to be more disciplined and to love themselves. That is my purpose. That is why I exist. It's not to work at a 9 to 5. It's not to work for someone else. It's not to be anything else. I have to find who I am. I have to find my purpose. And that is a right that everybody has in this lifetime. And you should take advantage of it. Because the weirdest thing in the world to me is that people come into this world, they're told, go to school, get a job, have the 2.5 kids, and the white picket fence, and just all these different things we're told. We're told all these things, and people who have been told all their lives start projecting and trying to tell you what it is that you're gonna do with your life and how you're gonna do it. Fuck all that shit. Fuck all that shit. Fuck that, man. You gotta. Once again, it all comes from self love. Anyone who hears this or sees this, that's my question to you: is out of all of everything I just said, it really all came down to how much do you love yourself? Because when you look at the people who are highly successful, they love themselves to never give up. They love themselves enough to stay committed. They love themselves enough to be disciplined. Because love is an action. It's not a feeling. Love is an action. So how do you love yourself every single motherfucking day? And I love myself enough to exercise every single day. Maybe I'm not going as hard, but I'm gonna go for a walk. I love myself every day to try and put as much good things in my body as I can because I love myself. I love myself enough to believe in myself. I love myself enough to have faith and to be committed and to be motivated. I love myself enough to give no matter what the world puts in my face. No matter how many times my heart is broken. No matter how many times I'm scared. I'm going to continue to give because I'm nobody's victim. I'm nobody's bitch. I came in this motherfucker to be me. And I don't care what anybody else has to say about that shit. I don't give a fuck. You know? And that's because I love me. And that's why I'm here. That's why I exist.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. That's the secret. Self love to not give a fuck.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it. Santos again.
Absolutely, bro. Thank you for having me. This is so dope.